Whoa, what's that? It's a bird. It's a plane. Oh wait, never mind. It's the top 10 strongest series. That's right, you saw the title. We're back once again with the next typing you guys chose, flying. We're going to take to the sky and look over the many different flying type Pokemon we've gotten from the first generation onward. This list was put together with tons of stuff taken into account, with a little extra focus put on the competitive aspect of things. I feel that these flying types we have here today represent some of the best of the typing, and I really hope you guys see that. Also, before we get into things, there's something I'd like to point out for you guys, because I know you'll probably have to say something about it when the video's done. This is a very legendary heavy list. Just like of dragon type Pokemon, there are way too many legendary flying types for me to ignore. So I ask you guys to just have mercy on me here and understand this is probably going to be the one time where we just have to see legendary after legendary. Thank you guys for your understanding. And while you're watching, why don't you take some time to think about what typing you want to see next? I believe at this point we've covered about half of them, so your opinions are getting limited. Enough about that though, let's get right into things. So we're going to be opening this top 10 up with our only 8th gen Pokemon, the almighty Corviknight. It's a great defensive Pokemon thanks to its steel flying typing. It's got base 105 defense as well, so it can take a hit if needed. It's got a very reliable recovery as well in Roost, and is one of the few steel types with reliable recovery. Corviknight is a very reliable and versatile Pokemon. One of its best sets utilizes that defense stat with Iron Defense and Body Press. The best part about Corviknight though is definitely its Gigantamax form, which works like defog on steroids while also doing great damage. All in all, Corviknight definitely deserves the number 10 spot on this list. Alright, let's follow up with the first of quite a few legendary Pokemon we're going to get here on this list. So far, in our adventure through the typings, we've done Fire and Ice, and neither of those included one of Kanto's legendary bird Pokemon. Well, I'm proud to say that right now, we finally got one, except it isn't one that would have appeared on either of those lists anyway. That's right, we've got none other than the electric Pokemon itself, Zapdos. It felt like a real easy decision to choose Zapdos for the top 10 today, even with all the different options this typing has. I mean, come on. It's an electric and flying type, which is just a great duo of typings. You have no weaknesses coming from the electric typing, and that typing also helps take away a flying type weakness. Zapdos has very nice special attack and speed, with 125 in the former and 100 in the latter. And its other stats are a bit balanced too, which is nice. Defensively, it's alright with 85 physical and 90 special, and its HP is base 92. All in all, when it comes to stats, Zapdos is a really solid Pokemon. Zapdos secures this spot on the list due to its very versatile move pool, both offensively and as a support. Some forms of moves include Heat Wave, which includes fending off ice types, while also being a move to pick off weakened ground types. U-Turn is a great form of damage and momentum, and Defog can be used for hazard removal, and Roost can also be a great form of recovery. That being said, we can't deny that fantastic electric stab with moves like Discharge, Thunderbolt, and Volt Switch. With these factors in mind, it shows that Zapdos has clearly stood the test of time and rightfully belongs here at the number 9 slot. For our next slot, you guys can feel free to discuss in the comments, but I personally have placed Thundurus above Zapdos, coming mostly from its accessibility to both the mixed offensive and utility form of Incarnate and the offensive monster of the Therian form. While in its Incarnate form, Thundurus will have the ability Prankster, which gives priority to status moves like Taunt, Thunder Wave, and Nasty Plot, sporting up an impressive base 111 speed stat, 115 attack, and 125 special attack stat. This force of nature does not hold back. However, give Thundurus access to its Therian form, and watch as your opponent's field gets ripped to shreds. At the sacrifice of 10 points in speed and attack, those would put the special attack, with an impressive 145 special attack stat. Combine that with the sheer amount of coverage Thundurus can provide your team. We're talking the obvious Thunderbolt and Volt Switch, we're looking at Flash Cannon, Dark Pulse, Focus Blast, Grass Knot. Need I say more? It would be a crime not to put this beast on this list, and that is why it is at number 8. Lucky number 7 coming right up. and there is no Pokemon on this list that represents that better than the Sky form of the Gratitude Pokemon, Shaymin. By first obtaining Shaymin and using a very special flower on it, Shaymin will transform into its flying type Sky form, and with it comes a change in stats and ability. Upon transformation, Shaymin makes a drastic change in stats, from the versatile base 100 in all stats to lowering defenses buffed down to 75, and distributing those 50 points in the 127 speed, 103 attack, and 120 special attack, whilst also trading out its ability Natural Cure for Serene Grace, which doubles the chance of any side effect to happen. On top of being such a speed demon on the battlefield, Shaymin can make great use of that speed with its ability to really make a dent in your opponent's team, especially with moves like Air Slash, which again thanks to Serene Grace, has a 60% chance to flinch. That means, on average, you make sure your opponent is not moving while you chip away. Of course though, we can't forget about Shaymin's signature move, Seed Flare, which if Serene Grace, has an 80% chance to lower the opponent's special defense by 2 stages. Lastly, Shaymin has some good coverage, it may not be a lot, but while it lacks in quantity, it more than makes up in quality. We're talking Psychic, Earth Power, and Dazzling Gleam. Those are some really solid moves to help Shaymin deal with fire and poison types, which are 2 of its biggest weaknesses. To round out the bottom half of this list, we have the crowned king of OU, Landorus. Its return to Sword and Shield this week, and the Crown Tundra DLC is very hype. In its incarnate form, Landorus has got 125 base attack, 115 base special attack, and 101 base speed, which is pretty good alongside the always fantastic sheer force. You'll be able to slap a life orb on this baby and send it out with powerful moves like Earth Power, Focus Blast, Sludge Bomb, and more. Coverage is abound on this thing, and if you choose to keep it in its incarnate form. Though, if you chose to go with the Therian form, you all know you're in for a versatile treat. It's got Intimidate for an ability in the Therian form, and its attack stat doubles up to base 145, which of course makes it quite clear that it's gonna hit like a truck out in battle. We're talking moves like Earthquake, Stone Edge, U-Turn, Knockoff, and Superpower, just being able to drill into so many different Pokemon. You even have options for setup, regardless of the form, like Swords Dance and Bulk Up to make that attack better, and something like Stealth Rocks if you want to set up hazards. It's another defog user as well, so if you want to use it and clear hazards out of the way, then you can do that too, I guess. Lando just has so many options, like with Thundurus, but it does it all better. But not good enough to knock down these next 5. We move on now to the top 5, and we're going to be starting off with our final non-legendary Pokemon, Salamance. Salamance is incredibly good and excellently balanced as an attacker with great speed. It's got base 135 attack, 110 base special attack, and 100 base speed. All of those coming together to turn it into one of the best dragon types Pokemon has ever seen. It gets access to a wide variety of good flying and dragon type moves, like Outrage and Dual Wing Beat, and some other non-stab moves that are just great to have, like Earthquake and Iron Tail. Really, just the sheer power it has and its great move pool, alongside a duo of good abilities in Intimidate and Moxie, are enough to keep it here in the top 10. But its position in the top 5 is cemented by its Mega Evolution. When Salamance Mega evolves, all hell breaks loose in a battle. Mega Salamance has got Aerialate as an ability, and that will turn all of its normal type moves into flying type moves, and increase their power by 20%. Combine that ability with moves like Return or Double Edge, and you have a missile coming in with a full force. A very bad croissant missile coming right at you. Pair that up with Mega Salamance's stat boosts to 145 base attack, 130 defense, and 120 speed. Oh, and I forgot to mention Dragon Dance. Yeah, Mega Salamance is insane and deserves this top 5 spot despite all the legendary power present. Let's go to Kalos for the next spot, and this time move on to the Pokemon adoring the box art of Pokemon Y, Yveltal. Yveltal is one of the best dark types ever, and it's most certainly the best flying dark type out there. It's got incredible bulk with 126 base HP and a duo of defenses just below 100. Though even more impressive is its attack stats, which both hit 131. It's pretty awesome to see a legendary have all of its stats either over 100 or extremely close to them, and Yveltal makes great usage of that bulk and attack. Much like with Xerneas' Fairy Aura, Yveltal has Dark Aura, for an ability which makes its Dark-type moves 30% stronger, thus enabling it to be an even stronger Pokemon. Its signature move, Oblivion Wing, is a very good base 80 power move that will give Yveltal back 75% of the damage done to the opponent as HP, working as an even better version of Roost that will hurt the opponent while healing. It's got the usual artillery of dark moves like Dark Pulse, Foul Play, and Sucker Punch, while also having some great flying type moves like Hurricane and Air Slash. There's so many different things that can be done with a Yveltal, and it's a forever sweeping threat due to Oblivion Wing and its fantastic bulk. While people probably think about the dark typing more than anything when Yveltal gets brought up, there's no denying it makes fantastic usage of that flying type like it's nothing. So next up, we're going to talk about a Pokemon we actually just did in the last video, ranking the top 10 strongest fire types. I am of course talking about Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh is an absolute beast, and it has been a real threat throughout its whole time in the Pokemon metagame. It makes great use of its brilliant hidden ability Regenerator, which on switch out recovers 33% health, and its obnoxiously high base 154 special defense. You want to talk about bulk? We'll look no further than Ho-Oh. Additionally, it has base 106 HP. It's not just a massively bulky Pokemon though, it's also got a respectable 90 base speed stat and 130 physical attack alongside 110 special attack. That means you can practically use Ho-Oh however you see fit. The thing about Ho-Oh is that a lot of its greatness just speaks for itself. It gets to use moves like Brave Bird, Sacred Fire, Fire Blast, while also having a variety of TMs it can learn, like Earthquake, Thunderbolt, and Psychic. The sheer amount of utility and coverage makes Ho-Oh amazing, but not quite there at the peak of flying type greatness. Unfortunately, with the fire flying typing comes that times for weakness to rock types, and the way it gets completely rocked by stealth rocks just kills it as an option here. Though that weakness to stealth rocks will be very well gone when Ho-Oh comes to Sword and Shield and gets access to the heavy duty boots. Well, we talked about the Pokemon Gold legendary, so why don't we talk about its counterpart? Lugia is without a doubt the most defensive Pokemon we've talked about thus far. It's got 154 base special defense and 130 base physical defense, alongside a nice 110 speed stat and 106 base HP, making it an absolutely insane wall that actually has speed to back up its great defenses. For a long time, Lugia has just boasted these crazy defensive stats, and now it even gets access to an ability like Multiscale that only makes the hits it takes weaker. Imagine this if you will. 252 EVs in HP and defense with the Bold Nature and Calm Mind being run on this Pokemon with Roost. Lugia will have 416 HP, 394 defense, 324 special attack, and 516 special defense. And thanks to Roost, it should easily be able to get back up to full HP, thus being able to get the help from Multiscale multiple times in a battle. We've talked about the great stats, and now I think it's fair to shine a light on some of the great moves Lugia gets. I already talked about Roost, which is going to go really well with the Multiscale ability, and about Calm Mind as well. Some of the other great special moves it has are Aeroblast, Hurricane, Psychic, and Extrasensory, giving it a real presence on the offensive side as well. Though, even with those great moves, you can probably run a Toxic style Lugia as well and be just as successful. Lugia is just so damn good, and it's more than deserving of this penultimate spot. Why it really should have been number 1, but who am I kidding? You know who the real number 1 spot belongs to. We've talked a lot, and I know you guys are tired of hearing me go on and on about how good legendaries are, so let's make this short and sweet. Just as it is the best dragon type, Rayquaza is the best flying type. Its Mega breaks it entirely, and its Dragon Ascent move that it needs to Mega Evolve is even a flying type move. There's really nothing else to talk about when it comes to how good Rayquaza is, other than, hey, it's banned. It was so good, they made a whole tier list just so it could be used. There's nothing that stands in its way as a top dog of flying types. Well, that's going to do it for another top 10, this time covering the flying types. I know some of you might be a little against the fact that this was so heavy leaning on legendaries, and maybe if you guys really want it, I can do another one of these without any legendaries at all. Let me know down below if you'd be interested in me going over the flying typing once more without legendaries involved. Though with that, I'd say we're pretty much done here. As usual, I want to know from you guys what you think about this list and also what typing you'd like to see covered next time. So let me know down in the comments below and let's get some discussions going. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel with notifications on, that way you never miss an upload. If you want to support me further, consider following my Twitch where I stream all sorts of games from Pokemon to Fire Emblem to Zelda and much more. I also have an anime channel called MysticSage where I do anime reviews, rankings, and countdowns. So if you're interested in that kind of content, go ahead and check that out as well. If you want to support me even further and gain cool perks, check out my Patreon. These lovely people have all given me their support over there and I couldn't be more grateful to them. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mystic Umbreon and I will see you in the future for more awesome Pokemon content.